Hi, welcome to my channel. Today, we've got a story from r/relationships where op suspects something between his girlfriend and his best friend but isn't really sure. Before we start, if you have any personal stories of how you got out of a toxic relationship with your cheating wife or girlfriend that you want to share, feel free to email them to me. Let's get started. Original story: I'm freaking out right now because if what I suspect is true, this living situation is about to get complicated. Please tell me I'm just crazy. Sorry if this is long. Background: we are two couples living together. We all attend the same university. The apartment was originally leased by my girlfriend of about 2 years, Alexis, 22F, and our mutual friend Brooke, 22F. The apartment is huge and expensive. There were originally supposed to be 3 girls living there, but the last one backed out abruptly. They were planning on moving somewhere cheaper, but they had put a lot of work into the apartment and loved it so much they hated the idea of leaving. I offered to move in when my lease was up in May so we could split the rent and utilities 3 ways. I was sleeping over often anyways. Both girls were ecstatic about the idea. Shortly before I moved in, Brooke started dating my best friend Derek. This was cool because now both couples got to hang out with their best friends and so's all at once. It seemed perfect. Derek began sleeping over a lot, and when his parents sold their house and left in October, he temporarily moved in. We haven't pushed for him to find a new place because splitting everything 4 ways is helping all of us so much. But again, only Alexis and Brooke are on the lease. The apartment owner surprisingly does not mind as long as rent gets paid, because we are always quiet. 3 incidents made me think something was up. If it weren't for these combined incidents, I would never accuse this because Alexis is such a sweet and shy girl and Derek has been a brother to me. They don't seem flirty, but as I mentioned before, all 4 of us are very close friends, so we spend a lot of time together. Incident 1. Brooke and I have early classes, so we're gone by 8 a.m. Derek and Alexis start in the afternoon, so it's not unusual for them to leave together, though they usually take separate cars. One of these days, I decided to wait for Alexis outside of her class so I could surprise her with lunch. I watched everyone shuffle out of the class, but Alexis wasn't with them. I texted her asking where she was and she replied, "Just got out of class. Gonna go home to study." I called her to see if I had just barely missed her or something, and there was no response, which I considered weird because she had just texted me a second ago. She didn't answer until much later, which is also unusual for her. She's one of those girls that's often on her phone. I ran into Brooke later in the day and she mentioned in passing that Derek had stayed homesick, she was going to bring him soup, blah blah. At the time, I didn't think much of it. Sorry to interrupt this story, but I have something I need to ask you. Have you ever wanted to find out if your wife or girlfriend is cheating on you? If your answer is yes, then I have the perfect solution for you. Introducing the Cheating Spy Cam. Thanks to our full HD quality, night vision, and motion detection, you won't miss any important moments once you set up the camera. This is what other people say about our spy cam. Get your spy cam now. Go to cheatingspygear.com for our 70% off Black Week deal. Click the link in the description or pinned comment. And in case you're not satisfied with our spy cam, we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. Now, let's get back to the story. When I got home later that night, I noticed Alexa's car was in the same spot. She usually parks in guest parking because her unit only has 3 spaces. As a result, her car moves a lot. I asked her if she'd gone to class and she got quiet before sheepishly admitting to skipping because she felt the professor sucked at explaining things. But she knows I hate when she skips classes, something that's gotten her grades in trouble before, but she recently started doing better. I kissed her and said I trusted her judgment. While I was doing the dishes, she explained how she probably won't skip again because being bored alone in the house was the worst. I laughed and we went about our business. At night we went to bed, and as I laid there drifting off, it hit me. She shouldn't have been alone because Derek was homesick, right? She was still up on her phone, so I popped awake and asked her where Derek was today since Brooke had said he was homesick. She seemed startled by the question, but that may have been from me being half asleep to suddenly wide awake with a random question. She said he was here a bit in the morning but went to do errands or something, she wasn't sure. After the other incidents, I realized that the scattered way she answered this question seemed off, but that may just be my imagination. Incident 2. I went to throw some stuff out in the kitchen garbage when I noticed a condom wrapper that was the same brand Alexis and I use. It wasn't super visible, sort of tucked behind a cereal box, but the distinctive color caught my eye. Brooke and Derek always use a different brand, free from the University Health Center, while ours are expensive Trojans. It was weird because we usually keep the wrappers in our respective rooms' garbage cans so they never appear in the kitchen. Furthermore, because of exams and general stress, Alexis and I hadn't slept together in a few days. I didn't dig around for a used condom or anything, I just went back to the room to check if any of ours were missing. I really couldn't tell, because we buy in bulk. My first thought was that Brooke and Derek had run out and broken into our stash, and I was upset that they hadn't even asked. Later that night I mentioned the condom wrapper to Alexis and her eyes got wide. When I mentioned my theory she got unusually distressed. She's always very calm, and went on a rant about them violating our privacy. I suggested we talk to them about it and she immediately shut the idea down and made me swear not to bring it up unless they did it again. She didn't want to have this awkward conversation, which was weird to me because we're all generally pretty open about sex given that we live together. Though it is possible that Alexis was being genuine because she's from a conservative small town and she doesn't talk about these things as much as we do. Incident 3. Me and Derek are cool with the dudes in the apartment next to us, who are graduates from our university. We don't hang out or anything, but we have the kind of relationship where we make small talk about sports or whatever in the hall and are comfortable asking the other to keep it down without it being awkward. Last Monday, during our break, I was locking up when no one else was at the apartment when I ran into one of the guys from next door. We talked football for a bit and then he mentioned that one of the couples in the apartment is a fan of morning sex and that the walls were way too thin. I laughed because Alexis and I usually had sex weekend mornings when we had the house to ourselves. Brooke and Derek usually spend weekends at her parents' house about an hour and a half away. The more I thought about it later in the day, the more I realized we hadn't been having morning sex in about a month. On the weekends it had been more towards the evening or not at all. Did he mean on weekdays? My heart sort of dropped. I kind of want to ask him to elaborate, but the conversation ended and I feel like I missed my chance. Plus it's a weird thing to ask and I feel like I must be being paranoid. So there you have it, r/relationships. Am I crazy? Am I looking for signs that aren't there, or is something up? And if so, how do I proceed? I don't want to ask her just yet because 1, I don't want to come off as crazy and jealous if nothing is up. 2, if something is up, I don't want them to start hiding it better. I was thinking of dropping by one of those mornings they're alone together, but I don't know how to time it right. If I drop by too early or late they might get more cautious. Before we take a look at some replies by other Redditors, take a moment to like the video to show your support to the channel. Don't forget to leave your own opinion on the story in the comments down below. Now let's look at some comments. U/Thippus Horribilis wrote, I would be wondering if I were you. Altogether these seem to be making a pattern that would lead me to wonder if something was going on. Do you think the guy next door was trying to give you a tip-off? Like maybe he has seen them or heard them and knows they are up to something? Maybe a surprise morning visit is in order? Leave class early and come home to say hi. Even if you don't catch them, you will shake it up a bit. If they are up to something they will never be sure that you won't drop by unannounced. I hope it is nothing, but for your peace of mind you need to get to the bottom of it. U/Mary Tex Mish replied to U/Thippus Horribilis and wrote, Yeah, I would probably agree that doing the come home unexpectedly thing is a better bet to start with than trying to talk to any of the roommates, because you're correct that if you're wrong it could cause a lot of friction. Your schedule seems pretty consistent, so if they're cheating they've got a very specific time in which they're doing it, right? Seems like it would be a fairly simple plan to put into action. If the only time they would have to be alone together is when you and Brooke are in morning classes, that's the time to go stealth on them. If that doesn't work, I would talk more to your neighbor. Seems like a safer plan than talking to your friend, girlfriend, or friend's girlfriend right off the bat. And I agree with other posters that it sounds like he might be trying to tip you off anyway. If not, you don't risk anything but a bit of awkwardness. Small price to pay in the long run. Good luck! I hope your suspicions prove to be incorrect. U/Ineffable Numpty wrote, She's pretty obviously cheating on you. Talking to Brooke is a bad idea, because she may not remember anything about an old condom, might gossip with Alexis, and you may well use your chance to catch Alexis and Derek at it. Asking your neighbor to text you isn't the sort of proof you need. Walking in on them may backfire because they are not fucking every second they're together. You may get unlucky by bursting in when they can have an innocent explanation, then your one shot to catch them in the act this way will be spent, and they'll be a lot more careful afterward. A surveillance camera is a way to go. U/Bernie1 wrote, Your neighbor is a fucking bro and giving you a massive hint emo. U/Throwy99038 wrote, Too many coincidences. Dude, her cheating is very much a possibility. Talk to Brooke about the condom wrapper thing, you may have your answer. Op replied to U/Throwy99038 and wrote, I mean, I feel like I'd be violating the promise I made to her just to make a huge accusation against her. If nothing's going on I think it'll end up damaging the relationship. Brooke is sort of a loudmouth and much closer to Alexis than me. I feel like she'll tell her I asked. U/Throwy99038 replied to Op and wrote. Dude, it's a chance you have to take, there are too many red flags. Just ask Brooke in private, ask her if Derek is behaving unusually. Then talk about the condoms. You can bury your head like an ostrich and pretend nothing is happening if you don't take cues. Op replied to U/Throwy99038 and wrote. No, I'm going to do something, just not 100% sure on what. Right now it sounds best to just drop in unexpectedly. U/Lafolia's good wrote. I feel like skipping class and walking in the apartment trying to catch them in the act on an MWF isn't a good plan. If they are having sex, it may not be every Monday, Wed, and Friday. What if one of them sleeps in? How long are you and Brooke gone? If it's hours, you won't know which 30-minute period it would be in. You would only have one chance, and if it didn't work, them knowing you may pop in at any time might cause them to be much more careful. They may already be on alert from the condom slip up. I like the idea of having the neighbor text you, under the pretense you would like to gauge what is too loud and may be disturbing to him, but it's not the best idea on second thought. He may enjoy listening and decide not to text you, afraid it may stop. I think your best bet is the audio recordings. U/La_Fee_Verte wrote. Speak to Brooke and see if she has similar concerns about Derek's behavior. You've mentioned that Brooke and Alexis are closer than you and Brooke. But, wouldn't she be worried about her guy cheating as well, therefore having a united front with you? Or, you can mention to her just the last thing, hey, the neighbors are complaining about you guys having loud sex in the morning, can you be a bit quieter? If her reply is along the lines of must be you, as we don't have sex in the morning, you have your answer and can follow with what you are worried about. To be honest, it does sound to me like a very high likelihood that Alexis is cheating on you. Op replied to U/La_Fee_Verte and wrote. That's a good idea with mentioning the morning sex thing to Brooke. The thing is, they're never there alone in the mornings, so there's no way it's them. MWF, it's Alexis and Derek. We're all there in the morning. Weekends she and Derek are gone. But I can mention it, and isn't it weird that the neighbor said this? Context. I'm torn between that or just dropping it unannounced. Maybe both. U/Puzzlebobble wrote. Get a webcam for your room and have it email you when it detects movement. At least you'll know if someone is home and if they are fucking in your bed. Also, with all these coincidences, it sure as hell sounds like they are screwing behind your backs. You are in a very delicate situation and I don't know what you could do. You mentioned you were cool with the neighbor. I would explain your concerns to him and ask if you could stake out your apt on the days they are most likely to have sex and just wait and listen. Hide your car and wait. If you hear noises, wait a minute or two and then bust in and catch it on tape, cheaters style, so they can't deny it or claim crazy shit as you threaten them. If I was your neighbor, I would be down to help a bro out, ESP, after dropping hints. Good luck, man. I hope you are wrong though and it is just a bunch of weird occurrences. U/Mindgate wrote. I have to commend you that you are prone to giving the benefit of the doubt, which is a nice and gentle gesture, but at some point, this turns into denial. Luckily these two dipshits are very sloppy about hiding up an affair. I think it's time you take Brooke aside and lay out your theory plus evidence. Maybe you can build a front, but whatever you do, break up. In case my post is too cryptic for you, your sweet conservative girlfriend is fucking your best friend. Just catch Brooke alone and ask her if she took a condom from your stash. Tell her you are not mad but she needs to be honest. When she says no, then there is no risk telling her your boyfriend and my girlfriend are fucking each other. U/Inkipinkai wrote. There's a lot of smoke here, especially in her reaction to your line of questioning. I'd give them opportunities to be alone together, and then surprise them by coming back when you don't expect it. Op replied to U/Inkipinkai and wrote. Yeah, I'm just worried. I'm imagining her response being weird in retrospect and that it wasn't weird. U/Ka43 wrote. The chances are pretty good that something is going on. Sorry man, but that many things all stacking up one after the other just screams cheating to me. Your best bet is just to go home early one day and see what is going on. Keep your eyes open for the next few weeks. Op replied to U/Ka43 and wrote. That sounds like the best plan. I'm just praying I time it right. I'll update if anything new happens. What do you think about all of this? Do you think Op's right on his suspicions? Is there something going on between Op's girlfriend and Op's best friend? Let us know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Hit the notification bell to make sure you never miss an upload.